I have had anywhere from 8 to 27 kindergarten students, and I have concluded over the years that 15 to 16 students, 15 to 17 is ideal.
So I would say 12 to 15 students would be an optimal class size.
Why?
I think that would give you enough time to meet their individual needs.
Clearly, if you have less students in your class, you're going to be able to spend more time with each child.
An ideal class size would be about 15. I think 20 is pushing it, and then anything over 20, I think is just too many.
Why?
The opportunity to give students more individualized attention that responds to their learning needs.
Even school board members, I've heard, say that class size studies show that class size doesn't help. Class size reduction doesn't help. A school board member said that at our school once. But yet the schools that they sort of really support and that the PTA puts lots of money into, sometimes they'll actually pay for an extra teacher or 2 or 3 extra teachers to have lower class size.
And it cuts down on a lot of the distractions and other things that hinder students gaining access to the curriculum.
At 15 to 17, they're calm, their needs are taken care of. Now you got to remember also, I'm in West Oakland. There's a lot of seriously stressed out kids. They need a calm environment where they can relax and trust that their needs are going to be met.
And there's a lot of studies that will tell you that class size is important in a student's, development as, they progress. You think about, you got kindergarten, first grade teachers who are in a situation where they have 30 kids in a classroom to one. You can't tell me that students that small with such a diverse array of learning needs is that cannot be considered quality education.
The district talks a lot about individualized learning. Well, in kindergarten, you can't have children sitting on computers doing their individualized learning all day. Kindergartners need to be talking. They need to be exchanging ideas. That's how they learn. They need to be working with their hands. And in order to work that way effectively, they need to work in small groups. Well, if I've got 22 students and 5 centers groups or 6 centers groups, I can only be with one. All the others are working in a situation where they don't have an adult, feeding them vocabulary, helping redirect them back to whatever interaction we're hoping they'll exchange. And at 5, they're not able to teach each other a whole lot in a center, right?
When I first started teaching in Oakland, just about every classroom had an instructional assistant within the classroom.
I've had a reading tutor in my room for the last 2 years because of TK, and my students have shown phenomenal growth. Just having another adult in there to talk to,
all the time,
practice writing their names. Last year it was most of the time. This year it's 3 hours a day, and I've seen growth like I know I would not see if it were just me in the classroom.
Yeah, anytime it's another adult in the classroom, it's helpful to keep the students engaged and on task.
I have never heard of a school in a wealthier community that has class sizes of 30 students, much less 35, 40.
And of course, private schools all have lower class size. So, clearly it helps some students. So I would imagine it would help all students, and I believe it does.
I've been in the district for a long time, and every time we ask for something, they always say they never have the money, but there always seems to be money to do things that they want to do.
But, OUSD does get a lot of money. We've learned through previous contract fights that OUSD actually is better funded than most districts in the state in terms of the amount of money it gets per pupil. So the question is, where does the money go? Because it doesn't go to teacher salaries, because we're still below the median for the state, and we know it doesn't go to schools because a lot of schools are still in poor condition. And the question is, where does it go? If it's not going to the classroom, if it's not going to the schools, where does it go?
There are certain things that can be done. You look at the Port of Oakland. The Port of Oakland takes in billions of dollars a year in revenue. How much of that is going to the Oakland community? Other tech industries and other corporations, are they being looked at to pay their fair share of taxes to really bring education in the inner city, in low-income communities, to the level where it's never been, which is, I would say, quality school for every child.
So I think there's money. They always say that money is not there, but it always seems to happen that if something's needed, money is found.
What would we have to do? What would people have to do to maybe force this to happen? Because obviously it's not going to happen on its own.
I really don't know.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible for OEA, because we're going to have this forum on April 12th to start talking about that. What would it take to build a campaign to win this time?
It'd take a lot of work, a lot of energy.
Okay.
And I mean, just historically with this district, you have to push so hard to get the things we should be entitled to.
Well, okay, so we've started. The district finally, for the first time in this contract, has yielded on that and has said schools with more than 90% or 90% or more unduplicated at schools like Prescott, it'll be a soft cap, but a soft cap of 24. It'll be an average of 24 at other schools, but they can still go up to 27 in individual classes. It's going to be a cap on individual classes of 24, 27 in first through third grade, 30 at the other schools. So the district has finally made a tiny bit of a concession in that they finally recognized, okay, this is something that might be important. And they didn't put much into it, but I think we got our foot through the door. And I think now we can say to them, thank you, you recognized how important this is. Look at what you agreed to. Let's build on this. And if we want to provide real equity, then students that live in high-stress neighborhoods need to have those smaller classes.
I think it starts with,
Bring this about.
getting, enough of the teachers and the parents and the students behind an effort, with the ultimate goal being that class size reduction. And then, we look at the tools we have, in our arsenal of weapons that could potentially get us there. And I think you're looking at, what I would say is the strike would be the, kind of the ultimate goal, and to at least, getting them to understand that, we are willing to, jeopardize, our salaries and our positions to fight for what the community of Oakland needs, which is more money for education. The problem right now is that every time we look to start a campaign for smaller class sizes, all we hear is, well, there's just not the money, is not there, so don't even bother. So that's why, obviously, it's not going to happen unless we struggle, unless we actually fight back against that kind of dismissive, like the money's not there line, which we've heard over and over again.
Class size is expensive. I think the money is there, but it is expensive, and so we would need to really zero in on that and focus on that and put pressure on the district. And I think it is an opportunity to ally with parents over this, because I believe parents would also like to see lower class size as well.